Hello everyone, I'm Hani Sial and I've written 3 books and I'm on my way to write my 4th one, but I'm gonna do it here with you guys. I'm gonna share my journey throughout the whole months that it's gonna take to write my book, and I'm also learning a lot about writing, even though I've written for years. I've written books for years, but still, yeah. So there's one topic or question that a lot of people have, which is when a draft is finished and when to stop editing. So, if a draft is finished, when should I start editing or how should I start editing? So, editing is a very big thing in writing or just in movies, like everything in general. And there, I'm also going to read my threads posts, which I've done a lot. So, if I have any kind of there's a lot of tips there as well, but for me, for my experience, there's 2 moments where you can edit. First one, you edit during writing. It's about fixing big problems that happen during the time where you're writing. For example, you're writing a very important paragraph, chapter, scene about your characters, and there's a very good idea that came into your mind, and you have to edit it beforehand so you don't forget about it afterwards. So that is the time where you have to edit at the moment. You cannot wait for it, for the first draft to finish. But there are other examples where you have to edit after the first draft is finished. For example, grammar mistakes or just wordings, and the first draft is not perfect. Nobody can make it perfect. It's always going to be bad. But there are also a lot of other drafts that will come after the first draft, and you're going to make it better with editing, with wording, with, removing your grammar mistakes or whatever. So it's not supposed to be perfect. The first draft is just for you to understand the story. It's just for you. So don't worry about the fact that, the first draft is not your first, the kind of script or chapter. What am I saying? The first draft is not the published ones. It's not going to get published. It needs work, and that's completely fine and normal. But just like I said, there's a lot of other, things. For example, big mistakes, big storyline mistakes, big plots that you need to edit at the exact moment. So when you finish with that one, it's not going to be in the back of your mind. You will forget it after some time. So you have to edit the ones that really are going to influence the story. You have to edit it at the same time where you're writing it. But just like I always say, write first, edit later. That's one of the things that I always agree with. And yeah, you're writing the story, you're the one writing the story. You're the one who's sitting there writing it, thinking about it, taking the time, being patient. No one else is doing that for you. You're the one who's writing it the way you want. So write it the way you want. Do not have this mindset of, oh, what will this person think of it? Well, they were not the ones that sat down and just wrote the book. You were the one. So, be be happy with the work that you're doing, because there are going to be people out there criticizing your book, judging it, saying that they could have done it better, but they've never written a chapter, or they've never written a letter to someone. It's that kind of comparison, you know. You're going to compare yourself to people either who are very good. So I'm like bringing it to another topic, but do not take criticism from people who have never done the same thing as you did, you know, because after a while it is going to be clear to you. I've had taken a lot of, you know, criticism and judgments from people who've not even written a book, and I thought that their opinion mattered to how my book is supposed to be. I mean, of course, there's going to be good feedbacks that people will give you, your family, your friends, your relatives, your, you know, people around you, and that's okay. If they're like feedbacks, you know, you're going to reflect on them, think about it, say if it works, and then you're going to better your writing next time. But there are some people who just come there and say this is not good. They don't give you a feedback, they don't give you a reason, but they've never written a book themselves, so do not really listen to them. And yeah, that's what I meant by the fact that your first draft is just for you. It's just for you to know the story, just for you to reflect on it, just for you to know the characters more. And then there are going to be other drafts which will be better, and you're gonna have more. You will get better in it. There's also another topic that I want to discuss, which is not really relevant to the fact of how you should edit or when you should edit, but comparing yourself to people who are best-selling authors. There's nothing wrong with getting inspired, taking inspiration, or trying to get better. There's definitely something not wrong with it, because everyone wants to get better. Everyone wants to, not everyone, but most people want it, and that's one of the best things ever. But there's also people who compare themselves to best-selling authors, and even though they've never taken that much action, just like those people who are best-selling authors, well, they have sat down, they've written for years and years and years, they've improved their writing, they were very open-minded about the ideas that they had. They just wrote, they didn't, you know, they just wrote. Just write. And you're comparing your first year to their 10, for example, or their, like, so many years of experiences. Like, I've been writing for years, but I've never really taken it as seriously as now. I do take inspiration from other writers and from movies, but I never really compare well, it's like human nature, you do it, but then you like think about it. Like, I think about it afterwards and say, well, they've worked a lot for it, and I have to work for it as well. So yeah, comparing doesn't really bring anything. If it's gonna make it better, go ahead and do it, but mostly just negative thoughts, and it's going to make you work harder, and then you're gonna burn out, and then you're gonna leave writing for like another 6 months, and it's just not going to bring anything. So that's why it's better to get inspired but not really compare yourself to other writers' works. And yeah, that's what I meant by it. But editing is just making your dialogues better, removing your grammar mistakes, and correcting your wordings, removing the unnecessary parts, or adding important parts to it. That's what editing is, and it's going to make a big difference. Editing is one of the most important things. But if you don't write, how are you going to edit? Because there's nothing. So writing is the first important thing for writers. You just write, and you don't care about it. In the first draft, you don't care about any of those things. Not the grammar mistakes, not the wording, none of that. You just write all of your thoughts, all of your ideas down, and if it's like something about the plot, mistake that you've done about the plot, you're going to correct it at the moment. You're not going to wait till the draft is finished, because you're going to forget about it, after a while. So it's better to just correct it at the moment. But other than that, you just have to write. And when the first draft is finished, you're going to edit. That's just it. I know I'm trying to make it sound easy. It's hard, of course. Everything is hard. And if it's fun for you, it's going to be easy. You can always have ways to make it easy for you. So yeah, I just hope it helped, and I hope it helped. Thank you for watching.